Hello, what is going on, everybody? Loris here, founder of Carrier Intelligence, and today I'm going to be walking you through a very eye-opening video. I'm going to try to keep it to about 5 minutes if possible, and honestly, this video probably will raise some feathers and tick some people off or companies off, but so be it. This stuff needs to be seen because these are big issues in the industry, specifically trucking, and most trucking companies just don't know about it. They honestly get the wool pulled over their eyes, and they think this is the best option out there. So we're going to be talking specifically, what is the problem with the majority? Now, this is not all-inclusive, but the majority of different kind of trucking job boards out there and what they are actually doing. All right, so if, for example, you were trying to advertise on a trucking job board, there's a lot of them, findatruckerjob.com, fatj.com, what have you. There's a ton. I'm not going to go in and start calling trucking job boards names out, but there are a lot of specific job boards like this that exist, right, for the industry. And you may think this is a great thing because, okay, you can go and spend some dollars, and they're going to give you some leads, and these drivers meet your ideal requirements. Sounds fantastic. Well, if you've ever gone to, let's say, Zillow.com, Redfin.com, and you want to look for a house, you put your name in, phone number, what happens next? Well, sure enough, you have 20 realtors calling you or 20 mortgage brokers calling you. It doesn't stop. That is what these job boards, in essence, do as well. They really aren't a job board. They're more of an advertising platform, and they are the reseller of driver data. Now, not to say that is unethical or anything like that. I don't have a problem with that. Drivers are looking for jobs. They put the information in on a website. By all means, they are allowed to be solicited. There's no problem with that. The problem I have is if you flip the script and we go in and start looking at the kind of ads these companies turn around and run, 10th Street, huge name in the business. They have a great ATS and all of that. But if we look at the ads that 10th Street is running, a number of problems exist, right? We see that this company called Pallet One is hiring local drivers. This company called Westmore Carrier is hiring drivers. JP Noonan is hiring drivers. There's roughly 130 different ads running this is within Facebook. There's really no originality here. It's the same kind of copy-paste looking ad with a picture of a silly looking truck, the word success, what have you. There's no originality. There's nothing that really makes your company stand out. Again, not that big of an issue because that's more of an issue of the ad, not the job board, right? The issue is this, is if, for example, I could find another one. I'm going to search like trucking jobs. We'll find one right now. Tell you exactly what I want to show you here. Because if we go in and let's look at CDL Life, for example, they're a very large player in the industry, and they have some very cool functionality. But we can see here that they have approximately 800 ads running at this time, and this is for one of their ad accounts. They have multiple ad accounts, so this happens again and again. So what we see here, this is just an analysis, not a criticism, but CDL Life is the Facebook page that is running the ad for Martin. Okay? They're also running the ads for all these different companies. Takeoff Fleet Corp, all these different companies they're running ads for. The issue is that the ads are housed underneath CDL Life's Facebook page. Okay? So Martin Transport is advertising with CDL Life, but CDL Life is advertising on behalf of them. So who owns the data? A good question. Well, the advertising account is under CDL Life, so they definitely have access to that data. They are giving it to Martin Transport as well, but in the end, CDL Life owns the data. And this happens across the board with different job boards. They will get drivers in, get their information, go out and resell that data dozens of times at the same time, and now you're left competing with your direct competitors. And that is counterproductive. You're paying a premium for good leads when, in essence, they are doing the same thing that Zillow is doing, and they're selling your data just like Zillow does to 10, 20 other mortgage people, 10, 20 other realtors, and all those realtors compete for your business. That is a problem. It really is. And even if you're able to win the driver, well, there's honestly 10, 20 other companies reaching out constantly trying to get the drivers over. So the second something goes bad, there's always another company that can come in, match that sign-on bonus, match that rate per mile, what have you, and take that driver. You know what I mean? So the perfect world, what I believe should happen is this. You should have the company do the advertising, but directly underneath the carrier's page. That way the carrier owns the data. It's transparent. We're not taking data and reselling it. If we look at these companies, Martin Transport, Drive-In Houston is hiring regional drivers, $1,300 guaranteed minimum weekly. Click this link, okay? Let's grab a different company. Takeoff Fleet, offering lease purchase, blah, blah, blah. Click this link. Janko, offering $1,300 a week. Click this link. It's the same thing. It's copy paste. It's lazy, I believe. And what happens is when you click this link, okay, so I'm going to click this Janko link. I'll also click this Takeoff Fleet link. Let's look at where these actually go to. So this hops over to Janko's landing page, which is owned by CDL Life. Now, not a problem there. It's fine. It's cool. There's no issue with this. The thing is that, there's Facebook retargeting going on. Now, chances are the marketing company, in this situation, CDL Life, has the ability to take this data, retarget it later, and sell that retargeting to other competitors, other trucking companies, right? Now, when the driver actually goes in and fills this out and clicks all these things, they are now getting routed into the marketing company's system, leads getting passed on to the carrier, but quite frankly, that lead is now owned in two places, and this lead can be sold multiple times over by the marketing company forever, right? And that I kind of have a little bit of friction with, because think about it, if I do the exact same thing. I help trucking companies attract more qualified drivers. That's what our company does. But we don't go in and use advertising dollars of our trucking company clients in order to harvest data and then resell it to other companies. And that all goes back to this issue of these job boards, and I can find more. The truckers report, there's a ton of them out there, and again, it's not about pointing at names or anything like that. I just wanted to show you what exists out here, because it's not slander, it's not libel, it's the truth. And trucking companies don't know this exists. So when you have this happening under Janko, and then you turn over and look at this Takeoff Fleet, and it's the exact same kind of looking page, and it's all owned by the marketer, and then their whole goal is to get the data so they can resell the data. Even when the trucking company doesn't get the results, I don't want to say the marketing company doesn't care because they lost revenue, but in the end, they just were able to, take the trucking companies, let's say $3,000 a month budget, to get $3,000 worth of more data, for example, and have that data they can resell and make $30,000 off of. You know what I mean? So that's the problem with it. So not saying that all these companies are unethical or anything like that. 10 Street's great in many applications. CDL Life does some really, really cool things, right? That goes without saying. All I believe is that there is a better way to do it. And what happens often with trucking companies is that they are preyed upon because the average trucking company is pretty far behind from a technology standpoint. If we look at the way data is transferred, EDIs, fax machines, these are very, very old school forms of technology, yet they're used daily within trucking. And I think that kind of old school mentality has been applied across everything, and it made it that the technology piece never really caught up. And so there are not that many big players out there in the marketing advertising world, specifically for trucking companies. And what that does, that gives them a little bit of monopoly, and they can go in and kind of bop them over the head with large exorbitant prices, and trucking companies willingly pay it, right? So again, not an issue with any of these companies specifically. It's just an issue with the industry and how trucking companies need to have their eyes open to know what's going on. Okay, so got a little longer. Hopefully that was an insightful video. And any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to talk to you. Take care.